cloud. Awesome, awesome. So many. Let's see. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna go over what you sent to me first, right? So we can see something that we'll probably need to make some changes to. Then I'm gonna go and look at some things that will probably help you as well on some of the things that I do. Now let me figure out. You think I'll know where to just go, boom, and say, okay, yeah, this is where I need to go to start sharing. Oh, there you go. Share your screen. What do I know? Okay, so let's start with sharing that. So this is what you sent to me, right?
Yes.
So perfect on the first part. So the only other thing you want to add to this will be for you to add your EMD check.
If you notice I believe it's attached as a two-part. So it's this one, and then there's another PDF that's attached to it.
Oh, okay. This is the only one that I saw. Some of the stuff came, which is kind of weird. Some of the stuff came, but I couldn't open them. But I mean, you get the idea.
Maybe that's what was the earnest money deposit. Maybe that's the one that didn't, because it's a picture and it's very difficult for me to apply it on here and try to create it into one file.
Okay, okay, real quick, one of the tricks that I do is this. I have my printer connected to I have the app on my phone, so I can easily scan something, so I'll just scan it. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'll scan it. If I scan it, the image comes right on my phone, sorry. So I can easily scan something and it comes on my phone and I just attach it straight to my SkySlope from here.
And you attach it to your SkySlope or you attach it to your zip forms?
I don't attach it to my zip forms, straight to my SkySlope.
But let me ask you a question. I was on SkySlope the other day, and it wouldn't allow me to proceed without creating a transaction and actually putting a date that it was accepted. So I just choose any date?
Absolutely. You have to create, yes, you must create a deal in SkySlope so I can send everything to that deal in SkySlope. You use the unique email address of that deal in SkySlope.
Even if it hasn't been accepted?
Even if it hasn't been accepted. Because an acceptance date is just put today's date for your acceptance date. What you're basically saying is, I'm accepting that I'm creating a deal today.
Got it. See, I didn't know that. Okay.
It has nothing to do with ratification. You're just saying, I accept a deal in SkySlope today. And if the deal doesn't go through for whatever, you can, cancel the transaction. They ask you what's the reason. Put a reason in there. Deal fell through, or no agreement reached. It doesn't matter. It's your deal. You control it.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that'll be the way I recommend that you do that. So, but yeah. So if you scan it, even let's say someone just send you. Let's say you just sent me an image of a check. A check that someone takes a picture of. I can just easily take that. I can email it to myself or email it to the deal in SkySlope, and then you'll be able to attach that check to your folder.
Okay.
So do it. If we have time today, I'll run the way I put a deal together for you again, so you can have that. This is going to be much more neat and better for you transaction-wise. But that'll be the first thing. Then we have your pre-approval. So going through this contract, right? Let me make this a little bit bigger so we can both see better. So going through this, you're perfect on your sales contract, today's date, good, everything is great there. Now, the first thing that I'll do, line 3, it says price and financing. Your down payment, you put your down payment on there. They're doing a 3.5% down payment, right? So that's correct.
That's for the loan, that's right.
So that's what they put in down. Then your B says financing. You have to put down on there. If they put in 3.5 down there, it means you're doing a 96.5, right? 96.5% financing. So you want to put that on that line, on your first trust. On GCAAR, this is the thing on GCAAR, it's like that. Okay. So on GCAAR, it'll be 96.5 for your first trust. Then total financing will be, again, that same percentage. You're doing, because if they're financing 96.5, that's what you put on there.
Okay.
The sales price is what you're buying it for. I have a separate question on this sales price, but I'm not going to answer that question now. I just want to go through this so you can see the areas that, what you need to do, right? Because that's the first thing. Questions about, is the number correct? How do we win a good contract? We're going to answer that later, but let's just go through this to see, only the few areas that you're missing stuff, right? So you can know exactly. So are you good so far?
So far, I'm good. Yeah. First trust is going to be 96.5%. And then,
correct. So yeah. Sorry. Those are the things that you need to fill out. So you need to fill out your A, and then your B, first trust. You need to fill that line out, 96.5. If you're doing a VA or any other loan, if it's 100% financing, just put 100% financing in there. If they're putting 20% down, again, it's going to be an 80%, financing for your first trust.
Got it.
Then your total financing, you put that percentage on there. Doing 80%, 97%, whatever it is, put that on there. So in this case, again, 96.5. Then your sales price is what they're purchasing the property for. So that's fine. Your C, your first deed of trust, they will obtain, and that's it. Okay. So they will, I'm sorry, that's not it. So they will obtain, and it's going to be fixed, except if they're doing adjustable. So it's going to be first deed of trust, purchaser will obtain a fixed or adjustable. So the fixed needs to be checked or the adjustable needs to be checked.
Okay. It's going to be fixed.
Then yes, then your FHA, you're good, so that's fine. You don't need anything on D, you don't need anything on E, because there's no second deed. So there's nothing there, all right?
Okay.
Then the next thing is you already got your buyer to initial, so that's perfect. And deposit, you already put on there how much they're doing for on line 4, you already put what you're doing for your EMD, and you already said when you deposit within 7 days, so that's awesome. You're looking for a settlement on the 22nd of February, so that's perfect. So we're good. Property maintenance and condition, you said on the date of the home inspection is what you're holding them onto, so that's perfect. Now, remember this line right here, 7, you selected, say buyer declines the opportunity to make contract contingent upon home inspection and or other inspections. So basically you're saying that your client, they can still do a home inspection, but they want to do it for informational purposes only, right?
Yeah, there's going to be an as is.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now, good question. Did the seller say they were selling the house as is, or you just picked as is?
They pick as is.
The seller, who did? The seller,
the buyer.
Okay. So the buyer. Okay. So let me clarify one thing. Typically, the seller is the one that's going to say we're selling the house as is. The seller or the listing agent. They're the one that'll say that. And one of the ways they say that, it will be if part of your disclosures, if they have an as-is addendum in there, or if on the MLS they list and say this property is sold as is, then that's when you will do that. So, and then another thing is, this could also still apply, but the question is, make sure that your client is actually totally, completely okay with doing an as-is. And if they're doing as-is, do they want to still do a home inspection for informational purposes only?
Yes.
Okay. So if they want to do it for informational purposes only, then you could do that. You can still do, you can still make it contingent upon a home inspection if you're selecting the first one. But if you're not, that's fine. If they decline to do it, the only reason why I'm saying that is because when I read through your file, you're going to see it later on. You did say that they're doing it as is, you did say that they declining an opportunity to make this contract contingent. So if they do a home inspection, and if something happens on the home inspection and they don't like it, they cannot use the home inspection to get out of this deal.
Correct.
So, okay, so that's important to note. All right. But, at least you understand the difference. You understand,
Yes.
they can select it, but it's typically the seller that will say, guess what? Hey, we're doing this, we're saying it as is, it's up to your client to say, okay, yeah, we understand that, we're okay with that, but we still want to do a home inspection for informational purposes only, right?
Correct.
So other than that, we're good. Now, line 10, you want the seller to give you a home warranty. Is there any particular reason for that?
Just to cover the appliances and small other things. I know that they have the newer washer and dryer. They have a new fridge. They have a new boiler. So they have a lot of new things in there as well.
All the appliances are new?
Yeah.
If all the appliances are new, I wouldn't select that you want them because they're already under warranty for at least a year. Some of them might be 5 years. The reason why I'm saying that is this. Writing an offer, a winning offer, you want to eliminate asking the seller to give you a home warranty. The reason is someone else, that might be what's going to make a difference in your offer, in your deal. Because let's say someone else writes the same offer as you, but you want them to pay $350 for a warranty. The seller might be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to pay for anybody's warranty, especially I've got brand new, appliances in there, and $350 is not going to buy you most good warranties anyways. And the other thing that you probably really need warranty on would be more like the HVAC, things like that have been there for a long time.
That's been there for about 5 years.
Yeah, those would be the things that would really, so you might not be able to get, $350 might not be enough to be able to buy warranty. But again, it's just something, to bear in mind. That could work. You could also warranty if you're actually asking a whole lot more on the purchase price. That could, but remember this, if you want to do, if you ever want to ask a seller to give you a home warranty, make your average price about $450, $450, $500. Because that's about the average for home warranties, So that's what I'll do, make it an average of 400, about $400, anything from $400 to $500. Some are even as expensive as $800, $900, but make it an average of probably about $400. But be a little bit careful about wanting the seller to pay for that, especially if, like you said, appliances are new. Put the onus on your buyer. Say, I recommend you guys buy a warranty. Let them, because if you're in a competitive situation, you don't want to, you don't want to do that. You don't want some to, lose you a deal, right?
Correct.
Now, 9/11, buyer will, so all that is good. Buyer will occupy, so that's fine. Then the initial, that's good. 12, there's nothing there. We're good. So those are the things that you just need to make changes on. So moving further along, everything else is good over here. You have them initial, the places that needs to be initialed. So that's good. And your client signed it. When they send it, if they accept your offer, they'll have it ratified and you're good over here. Then they'll put the ratification date right there and that's it. Now, your FHA financing addendum. Everything is good on that line. You have okay, perfect. First deed of trust, buyer will obtain, excellent. And we're talking 96.5, good. Over 30 years, good. Fixed rate, good. Adjustable rate bed, 2.5, that's good. I mean, if that's their rate, good. If you know their rate, great. If you don't know it, you can use an assumed rate on there as long as your buyer understands, but that's good. There's no second deed of trust, so we don't have to worry about that. No alternate financing. You send a seller's option to void contract. You let them know that buyer will deliver by 6 p.m., 10 days after ratification, conditional commitment letter. That's good. Just make sure you remember that date so you can follow up, because you don't want that date to come and your client does not have that. So you have to keep up with your lender to make sure that they get it, that they get that letter. And if you need an extension, you can just simply most agents will not make a big deal of it, but if it's a serious, competitive situation, your listing agent might be saying, hey, where's that letter? So you need to make sure you're on top of it.
What's the average date of that you see in a contract there for seller's options to void contract?
I normally 15 days is about average, because it gives you more room depending on how busy it is. So 10 to 15 days is good. There's no 10, I've seen people write 7 days on there. Especially, it just depends on, but you don't want to make it too short. You want to give your client room, because if something is going on, what if the lender is busy, whatever the case, you just want to give yourself room. So an average of 10 to 15 days is ideal. Again, you can adjust that to a lesser time frame if you're in a crazy competitive situation, right? Because you want your offer to look very good. You want the listing agent to look and say, you know what, okay, it looks like these guys can actually close quicker, because the listing agent will call your lender to also find out, hey, I've got this offer in my hand. This is the client's name. How are we? Do you think you can close in 30 days? This is a question they ask. And if this lender says, yeah, I can close in 30 days. Oh, everything is good with them. I already got them all done. It makes the listing agent feel more comfortable and gives your client a better shot of winning that offer. So 10 to 15 days on average. If it's more competitive, shorten the number of days. But make sure you remember the date that you have on there, so that you can follow up with the lender in case the agent comes back and say, hey, we want your commitment letter, right? So that way you can produce that letter to them. And don't forget, your first day starts on the day after. So let's say we ratify a contract today. Your first day does not start until tomorrow. So if you say 10 days, today is the 22nd, right? So it will be 10 days from tomorrow.
23rd, 10 days from the 23rd.
Correct. So that's good. Now, FHA clause, appraisal clause, that's perfect. You're saying you're buying the house for this, and that's what it is. Now, I've got a question for you. You put on it that you're buying, that you want the appraisal to be 234. But didn't I see up here somewhere that you put the sales price at 231?
Yes, so that's where I made a mistake. Yeah, so that's where I made a mistake, I guess, because I subtracted the 3 point.
Sorry, I lost you. I didn't hear you.
That's okay. I subtracted the 3.5% from what we're purchasing the house at.
Okay. Don't.
Yeah, that's where I made the mistake.
Yeah. Your sales price is your sales price. It has nothing to do with the the down payment or what they're financing. So yeah, up here on line 3, you change your sales price to 234.
Yeah,
if that's
so
what you're buying it for.
So let me ask you a question then. We're going to the listing says 234. We want to make them an offer of 240. Right where it says sales price 240.
So your sales price is 240. Yeah. Whatever you're writing the contract for, whatever your purchase price is your sales price. So you need to, if 240 is what you want to do, then you need to write 240 over here. So where it says price and financing on line 3, sales price, you need to change that to $240,000. Okay.
Got it.
Then where on your FHA financing addendum, you need to change that to $240,000 as well.
Okay.
Because what you're saying is, I'm buying the house for $240,000. However, this house better appraised for $240,000 because if it doesn't, it's FHA loan. They won't let you do it. So that's where you protect your client and you put on there right here, 240. Whatever you buying the price of the property for is what you want to put over there.
Now, let me ask you, should I write this contract as saying, we're going to give you 234, we expect no assistance in closing costs, this is what the property is appraised for, saying that they were listed for?
We're gonna get to that. I just want to go through this contract with you first. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna go over how I think you need to write a winning offer, and I'll give you the reasoning behind it so that you can see if it makes sense to you.
Okay.
But I just want to run through your contract first. Yes. So you know where what needs to go. So even if after we do this whole thing and you now turn around and you have a conversation with your buyer and you all agree and say, you know what, we want to buy this house for $300,000, that's what needs to be here on your appraisal. Whatever you're buying the house for, whatever you're writing the contract for, your purchase price, that's what needs to be over here. So right here, that price needs to be whatever you're buying it for. On the first page, on page 3, where it says sales price, that has to be the same thing as well. So this number right here must be the same thing as the number on the front page.
Got it.
That's your purchase. Okay. So we move on. There's nothing to see here. Then they'll initial, they'll sign. Make sure you get a home inspection, FHA required. So that's it. So that's done, and they sign. Now, as is, who supplied this?
Which one?
Who put the addendum here, the as is addendum?
I did off of the MAR addendum.
You need to remove that.
Okay. A
couple of reasons why you want to remove that. Number one, you want to use GCAAR forms. Number two, and now again, okay, let me put it this way. Because you already said prior, remember the other part where I was talking about? You put on there, you said that, you already told them that, this contract is not contingent upon a home inspection. If you already said that, then you don't need this form at all. You don't need this form because you already said that you're not making a contingent on it. So you don't need this.
So that is like the as-if form of GCAAR.
Yes. Now this, yes, that's what that is. Because GCAAR gives you the option A or B. They tell you that. Do you want to make it contingent upon home inspection or not? Again, personally, like I said, me personally, because it's an FHA loan. So you cannot not do a home inspection. You have to do a home inspection regardless. It's an FHA loan. So the client must do a home inspection because it's required for the loan. Now you can now say, okay, I'll say, hey, this is contingent upon a home inspection. Then I can attach an addendum to say, we want to do the home inspection for informational purposes only. You can do that because you're trying to win the contract. So that would be the first thing. Over here, when you select that, a buyer declines the opportunity to make contract contingent upon the home inspection, again, because it's an FHA loan. If for example, that's why you got to protect yourself and your client. Most importantly, protect your client. Let's say you guys going on this contract, and then you're saying you're not making this contract contingent upon a home inspection. And your client now says, I still want to do a home inspection, right? For informational purposes only. It's moot because if the roof is leaking, for example, and it's a bad roof, FHA is not going to finance that deal because the roof has to be fixed. But your client could be held liable to execute that contract because they said, we are now making this contract contingent upon a home inspection. So whatever is on that home inspection report doesn't matter to the seller. And they cannot say because of that, we're not going to go ahead with this deal. So again, I will tell you, especially since you're doing an FHA, and if you're doing a VA, and if you're doing a USDA, any of those loans, you need to make sure you check in that the contract is contingent upon a home inspection. So that decline, I will not do that for that client.
Thank you.
If they're doing a conventional loan, if the client says that we're doing a conventional loan and we don't care, we just want, we go, we don't care whatever happens, okay, they can do that, they can say, okay, but on an FHA loan, it wouldn't, because if there are certain things that if the FHA is, when they do their own inspection and appraisal, if they come back and say some of these things, the roof is got an issue, the foundation is got an issue, those things must be fixed before the client moves in. Now, if we're talking about the paint is chipped or whatever, no, those are simple, repair work. The home must be habitable when they take possession of it. Otherwise, FHA is not going to finance it. Otherwise, you need to do that like an FHA 203K loan, which is different, okay? A rehab loan. So quickly backtrack over here. I will go there and I will select that you're making this contract contingent upon a home inspection. Check that, make it contingent. Okay. You can add an addendum and say, for informational purposes only. You can do that if you want, if that's what your client wants. But why? Why would they want that? They want to know exactly what's going on. It's an FHA loan. Protect them, protect yourself, and do it that way. That's what.
Okay.
So let's go back. So the as-is addendum, remove it all together. However, while we're here, let's talk about this as-is addendum.
Okay.
When you use this addendum, okay, you're only going to select one. You're either selecting as-is without inspections, meaning you already know that this property is being sold as is, so it doesn't matter. All right, and that's why the wording and the languaging is different. The language is different in the MAR form and in the GCAAR. So in the MAR form, use this with an MAR. Typically, the seller will include this as part of their disclosure, and they will only select one. They're either going to say we want as is, without inspection, or as is with inspection, whatever they want to do. But you can fill it out. You can include it. You can include it yourself, even if they don't. You can say, but you only got to pick one, not two. If I'm going to use this and I'm picking one, I use the as is. I understand you guys want to sell the house as is. I understand you saying you're not going to repair anything. It doesn't matter what we find. I understand all of that, Mr. Seller. However, my client understands that, but they still want to buy your house as is, with inspection, and with the right to terminate. Meaning, if they go through the inspection and they find out there's a problem with the foundation or whatever, they want to exercise their right to terminate. We understand this as is, that's fine. Okay? So that's typically what you use. Or your client might be like, they're saying it as is anyways. I want to do my inspection. I just want to know what's wrong with the property so I can know how much I'm going to spend, see if it's worth my while or whatever the reason. And it says as is without inspections. But, we understand that. And so when you execute it, if you do the as is without inspections, you can still tell them that you want to do your inspection for informational purposes only. But when you do that, you're saying, we understand anything that comes in inspection, we're not going to hold you guys liable. We understand, right? Or we're doing it with inspection and we reserve the right to terminate. If you're in a very competitive situation that you want to do this quick and you're picking B, the B part that says as is with inspection and right to terminate, and you feel that the seller might be like, we don't want you to hold us up for forever, you might put maybe 5 days or 6 days or 7 days, you know, shorter period of time is what you want to put here. So you can get in, find out what's going on. If your client still loves it, then you go on. If not, you can move out, you know, get them out of the deal and keep moving, right? So does that make sense so far?
So far, it makes sense, yeah.
Okay. So, but for the purpose of this deal, I'll remove this addendum altogether. Okay.
And you got it.
Okay. So now, notice to buy, you got everything done perfectly here. Okay, no, you got everything. You have the buyer's information in there, so perfect. Because you don't want to leave anything blank. You want to get all that done. So oh, this is good. Everybody's signed, perfect. Oh, this is good for information. That's good. Everything is good. Escrow is good. So this form wants to get it ratified, and if it's ratified, everything goes. The title company is going to get this done and send it back to you. They're going to sign that part on the day they receive it. They receive the EMD.
Go back up. Go back up. Go back up real quick.
Okay.
No. I'm sorry. I think I missed a blank. There was a blank.
There was a blank right here. Number 4, because this is a GCAAR, this is what it is. The receipt of the, this is what I'm saying, that when they receive it, they would say how much they received, and you know, on the receipt they say on date of deposit receipt as stated below. They'll fill that out. We got $2,500 check, and down here where they sign it, it's right here. See, date of deposit receipt. They'll put the date right here.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
The agent will put it there, and then the agent will sign it. And that's what you will upload into your SkySlope. Okay. COVID-19 addendum, pretty straightforward. It's just, you know, if there's any delay, everything automatically extends for 14 days, I believe. Inclusions and exclusions. I wanted to show you this part because as a matter of, you know, safety, I always usually do this just so that my client knows and nobody, you know, can turn around and argue about it. So when it comes to inclusions and exclusions, anywhere the agent, because the agent is the one that gave you this, the listing agent, anywhere they write anything like this, ring, you know, that they write anything outside, I will make my client initial that area. You got it?
Okay.
I'll put an initial there just for my client to initial, because number 1, it means my client saw it. It means they read it. It means they understand that, yes, there is a ring camera. So if anybody now turns around later on the date of settlement and they go back and you go back in and the ring camera is gone and all that, you can be like, whoa, what happened? We had it in there. It was my client initialed it. Why did you guys remove it? So anytime they write anything, I get them to initial
like down right there, down at the bottom, it says RODS, RODS as well.
I'm gonna get my client. See right here where it says RODS and it's checked. I'll either put my clients, I put initial for them right on this section or right on this section.
Got it.
So next to that, I'm gonna put a section for them to initial. Next to this guy, I'm gonna put an initial for them to initial. Next to this guy, I'm gonna put or I can put it just in the middle of both of them. But I will make sure my client use those places. It's just a way to protect yourself.
So there's a small island. There's a small island in the kitchen as well that's like removable. It wiggles around. I want to make sure that that's also included in the contract.
So, for example, let's say, since it's movable, then what I will do is, see right here on this blank line?
Yeah.
You can just put a check mark right there, and right over there, you can type it in and write it and say,
kitchen island.
Portable kitchen island to stay.
Mm-hmm.
know? Or you can say, yeah, portable kitchen add to state or something like that. And you get your client to initial right next to it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was there when you guys saw it and they assumed that he's staying. So if he's not staying, it's incumbent upon the listing agent to let you know that, oh, no, no, that's not staying. But you notice that, put that in there because that's not checked. So absolutely correct.
Okay.
Then we coming down here. They've lived there for 5 years, perfect. Another section right here, it tells you type of roof, we don't know, but the age of the roof is 3 years, okay? And it says that the HOA takes care of the roof. I'll get my client to initial right there, okay? Initial there that yes, the two that is 3 years, and yes, the two that the HOA is the one responsible for the roof. So my client knows that, everybody knows that. So I'll get my client to initial that part. HVAC is 5 years old. I get my client to initial right there. Those are all the things that is written. So those are the things I will make sure my client initials next to. Then we are coming to the bottom of this. Your client already signed that. Excellent. Good. And typically over here, they're supposed to check. Do they know if there's any latent defect? Yes or no? They didn't check anything. I suggest you ask them. Because guess what? The client, they didn't sign it. Oh no, they don't need to sign it. Okay, so they do not need to sign that. Hold on. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, they don't need to sign it. I was confused because you signed it. So they just need to initial over here whether they know of any latent defect, yes or no. If they didn't sign it, if they didn't check it, it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. I'll ask the guy so I can check which one it is. However, this, your client does not sign this. The reason why your client does not sign this is, you notice that the seller did not sign it.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why they didn't sign it is because they disclosed to you. In Maryland, you either disclose or you disclaim. So you see what they did. Maryland residential property disclosure. They disclosed to you, you know, the roof, the condition of the roof, how long they live in the property. They disclosed all of this stuff to you. So since they disclosed all that, they signed that we disclosed to you. See, seller signature. Then you sign that you accepted the disclosure. Nobody needs to sign the disclaimer. So you need to remove
the disclaimer.
Yes. So you either disclose or you disclaim. Since they disclose, there's no need to disclaim. So you know you want to remove that.
So I can remove the whole disclaimer sheet.
No, you don't. You do not remove the disclaimer sheet. Everything stays.
Just don't sign it.
Yes, that's what I apologize. That's what I meant by remove. As in, your client does not need to sign the disclaimer. That's what I meant. But you do not remove any page. No. So make sure that the disclaimer is not signed. Okay.
Okay.
Then moving to the REA and disclosure addendum. There's really not much over here. They give you a disclosure disclaimer statement. Property may be exempt from Maryland, blah, blah, blah. And they say that no, we're not exempt. Okay, so it said no. So there's nothing over there. We're talking about, you know, letting you know the kind of smoke detectors, moderately priced unit, no. So radon, no. If seller is exempt from radon test, no. Nobody should be exempt from that. So there's nothing there to do. They told you that, you know, water is public, sewer is public, so all that is done. As one been disapproved for, I think they made a mistake by checking both over here. Over here, they should have signed, they should have initialed that part, you know. They should have initialed that part because you can have both. But you don't need to make a big deal of that, you know, because we kind of know that, okay, they just made a mistake. So everything is good. There's no underground storage tank, no deferred water assessment. So you're good. Then at the bottom here, your buyer signs, and that's it. They initial that they got the information, they're not tax exempt. Then we are good over there. Let's see. No tax benefit. Boom. Resale are going to receive. Excellent. Because it's part of an HOA. Good, good, good. They signed that part. And oh, this is good. So that's just the information that they're giving you. Condo, this is a condo resale. They're letting you know it's $330 a month. Then your client will sign. They letting you know where the assigned parking is. So that's it. And then your client will sign at the bottom right there. Sorry, no, that's the seller. Your guy will sign right here at the very bottom. So you did everything correct. That's good. Now your addendum of clauses.
Wait, go back up real quick. Right here.
Okay.
No. Yeah, go up a little bit up. Where was it at? Keep going. Go up to page 3. Go up some more, please. I think I missed it. Right there. It was blank. No.
Where?
Go down.
Here?
Go down.
Your client signed it.
Okay. Yeah, this is where I was doing. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I understood all of that. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, keep going.
This is the page we're in right now. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So addendum of clauses. So your client is not asking for anything, so you don't need to even need to put anything there. You don't need to check that. You don't need to do anything. Now over here, then you have inspection contingency. You're saying the contract is contingent. It's contingent upon home inspection. The contract is contingent until 6 on the 10th day after the day of ratification for inspections of the property, not including rating and all that. I know we've fixed this now, we've changed it, but before you said that it was not contingent.
And then I came.
Right. So that's why. So now, this now is more ideal because now you can now remember that you got to go back based on what we said, check it that says it is contingent upon home inspection. And that's why you use this addendum of clauses A. It is contingent, then you come over here and you check this box as well because it is, because that's what you're going to go back and do. Okay?
Okay.
So that's what you do. Now, when you do that, it says contingent upon home inspection with a GCAAR form, you're going to check this box like you did here and it's signed. Then you're going to decide what you want to do on A or B, because now let's read what A or B. In fact, in GCAAR, you can do A, you can do B, you can do both. It allows you to do those. That's the difference in the GCAAR. So look at what it says. It says, select option A, B, or both below. Failure to select either A or B will result in both being selected automatically. So go back to the front, you say, yes, you're doing a home inspection is contingent, and that's why you use this form. Then you get over here and you check on there and say, yes, inspection contingency. You put the number of days on there, whether you want to do 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, whatever you want to do, you put it on here like you did. Then you have to check this box if that's what you guys want to do. This is typically what most people do. They check the A box, okay? And they say, we have a right to negotiate, meaning this right will terminate at the deadline unless the deadline unless by a deadline the buyer delivers to seller a copy of the report from the inspection of the property. Meaning, hey, we don't want to cancel. We just want to negotiate. If the inspection comes back and even you said it's as is and we agree and we okay, and but the inspection comes back and says the roof is got a problem, we want to negotiate. We want you guys to fix it. We want you to give us credit. You know, whatever it is, you have that right to negotiate. So this allows you to do that, right? Then it tells you, it says, if the seller elects not to perform in accordance with the home inspection notice or make another offer, the seller will deliver notice to buyer of such decision within 3 days. So if you select, so again, select a right to negotiate. Okay, and it gives you all this, you know, the time frame on when to deliver. You can select, I want to negotiate, and I also want to have the right to cancel. You see that?
Yeah.
So you can select both, or you can just say, you know what, we only want to do B. If we do a home inspection and we're not happy, we just want to cancel and we walk away. Okay? Or we just want to negotiate. Or we want to negotiate as well as cancel. I won't pick both. I will only pick, I always pick right to negotiate for my client. Because I always want them to negotiate because it's always a good thing. Now, this section over here, you said additional, it says additional as-is provision. Your client checked this and signed. I would not let my client do that because read what it says. The following terms in this contract are hereby amended. Check all that apply. If you select this and you check this and you say additional as-is provision, you say all clauses pertaining to the delivery of the property free and clear of trash and debris and broom clean are deleted. All clauses pertaining to termites and wood destroying insects are deleted. All clauses pertaining to private well are deleted. All requirements for sale to comply with orders or notice of violation or any condo unit associate and homeowners associate related to the physical deleted. You don't want to delete that. If they owe money, if there's something, you don't want to delete that. If after you guys look at the house, what if they're still showing the property and you already selected that you want the home to be delivered to you the way it looked on the day of the home inspection. And then you delete all of this and someone else goes into the property and the windows are broken or things are not cleaned. You can't hold them accountable. So that's why I don't ever select this option at all.
That would be somebody that would be an option for like an investor.
Sorry?
That option would only be for someone like who's buying a property that knows that it's totally destroyed and they just investing in it to do a flip.
Yeah, exactly. So don't select that. You do not need to select that, and your client does not need to sign that. Except if your client is like, yeah, I don't care. All the trash can be in there. We don't care. They don't have to sweep it. If they're okay with that, then fine. But I wouldn't select that.
Okay.
And then going to number 4, you have radon inspection contingency. You put on there that 5 days. So you are doing a radon inspection. Since that's the case, make sure you do the check. You check this box, and your client needs to initial.
Okay.
You see? So if you're doing a radon, even if you end up not doing it, but you're telling them that you want to do it, you need to have your client check that. Well, you need to check that box, and you need to have your client initial that line. Okay?
Okay.
Number 5, you don't need to do anything, and you did not, which is perfect because it's an FHA. This part of it does not apply. So moving on, you don't need to worry about that. You said holding deposit check again. Since you put 7 days on there,
I'm still seeing number 4. I'm still seeing page 4. There we go.
Okay. So on this one, it says holding deposit check not to be used for Maryland transaction when a real estate broker is the escrow agent. escrow agent shall hold. I don't even check this box because we don't hold any check. Anyways, I don't take any check from the client.
Yeah.
So
That should be just left blank.
there's nothing. Don't check anything on there. There's nothing, you know.
Actually, that
Okay, no,
was
hold on, no, hold on. Let me reread that. Not to be used, not be used for when a reservoir is. No, this is correct. What you were missing on this is you put the 7 days on there. Since you're doing this, you have to check it and your client has to initial.
Okay.
Because what you're telling them is once this contract is ratified, you are letting them understand that the check will be with title, okay,
7 days.
and that title can hold it for no more than 7 days, you know, after ratification, and at that time they need to deposit that check. That's what you're saying. Typically, people will put 3 days on there, but it doesn't matter. If you put anything there, period, just make sure that it's checked and your client initials next to it. Okay. Then moving along, your client signed the bottom, so you're good. And now we're going to the Montgomery County Jurisdictional Addendum. That's done correctly. Montgomery County, City of Rockville, excellent, excellent, excellent. So that's good. Nothing is done over there. That's perfect.
Now, actually about the city of Rockville, it's actually the city of Germantown. Does he need to sign that regardless?
No, if it's in Germantown, then make sure you use the one that says Germantown. But if there's none, well, actually, no, there's none. There won't be any. So you don't. It doesn't. It just Montgomery County.
So we just be number 1.
Yes, it's just signed Montgomery County. It doesn't need to sign Rockville, City of Rockville.
Got it.
Yep. And you said that the buyer is the first-time Maryland-owned buyer. Excellent. And you said that they're doing 50-50 split. Perfect. It's best when you did 50-50. You can just put 50-50 split.
Okay.
Just write the word split on there, 50-50 split.
You got it.
And 50-50 is fine too, but I guess I'm just a little anal. I like to, you know, so yeah, 50-50, or I can say 50-50 split. That's fine. Non-interest bearing account, perfect, perfect. And that's it. You'll get a home inspection done, very well done. Everything is done perfect. So good. So those are the changes that you need to make. And that's the end of it. So yeah, now a few things. So let me go to another screen that I want to share with you, because a few things that we now need to clean up.
Yeah.
So can you see my MLS?
Not yet. I'm still seeing the contract.
Okay. All right. Let me make sure that you can see my MLS. You should see it now. Do you see the MLS now?
Now I do, yes.
Okay. So, wanted to show you something. When you go into your disclosure on this deal, because you got all the, I love that. I love that. Because you got your disclosure from there, but I just wanted to point something. It's minuscule, but it's important, because these are some of the things that the agent on the other side will look at that could be a pet peeve for people. See what he put over here. It says disclosure cover sheet. Look at what it says. It says, for an offer to be considered, please include GCAAR sales contract, perfect, required, which you did. And he told you buyer financial information sheet. And he also says lender letter. You have your lender letter, you have your GCAAR. I don't know if the other packet that you sent to me, if he has a buyer financial information or not. But if he doesn't, you need to make sure you have that on there. So where do you get the buyer financial information sheet, you ask me, right?
From GCAAR.
Do you know where to find that? Not necessarily. You will find it in your zip forms though. Can you see my zip form screen or no?
Yes, it's a blue, yeah.
Okay. So I'm logging into zip forms now. Because that agent says that he wants a financial information sheet, you want to make sure you include it on there. And I will tell you a little trick on how you fill those out. I need to close some screens. I've got so much running in the background that is making my computer super duper slow. It's super duper taking its time. So I'm just gonna pull a financial information sheet on any of these deals, just to show you. I don't think any one of them has it, but let's go in here. Let's go here. Let's move this a little bit, and let's go financial. So buyer financial information sheet. That one says DC. Let me get one that says Montgomery County. So this is the form that you need to have. And you can fill all this out for your client and just get them to sign it. Or you can just, fill the pertinent information and get them to fill out the rest, But this is what your client is looking for, what your listing agent is looking for. So you just fill out the name, the current address of the client, put their occupation and title, how long they've been at that job. You want to put it there, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking to see, just a brief summary of what kind of a client are we looking at, how strong they are. Now, say if it's two people, you fill both of them. This section right here, see where it says gross annual income? This is important. This is in essence what the client is already given the lender. But what they're looking at is just want to see roughly, okay, what does this client look like? So you can just put their base salary on there. They don't need to disclose every single thing. The trick on this is just disclose enough information for what they want to buy, right? So base salary, what is it? Is it, are they salaried, whatever they want to disclose, you just put on their salary and you put how much it is. If it's one person, if they want to disclose another source of income, they can put it on there. They do not have to, just need to disclose, whatever that information is. Assets, they do not need to disclose every single thing they have in 401k. And no, they don't. They just simply need to disclose, okay, we're buying a $300,000 home. We put in 3.5% down, right? So based on that, all they need to do is asset. What do they have in their checking account? They don't need to tell the guy, I've got 100 grand in the checking account. They do not. All they need to put on there is, we're buying a $300,000 home. We already know we put in 3.5% down, so they can just simply roughly put down. Generally, I'll say about, you're buying a $300,000 home, they can put 10% of that down. They can put 20% down. Say, hey, we have 60 grand. That's it. Because nobody's going to go, I say, send us your bank statement. They don't know. The listening just want to say, okay, these people that want to buy this $300,000 home, they do, okay, so they do have 10% down to put down. I mean, to cover any expenses. Oh yeah, they do have 20, that's what this is. So it doesn't have to be, a hard and fast, go and look in your bank account and tell me how much you got in there. No, just a client, we just need to show them that we have enough money to cover, your down payment that you already told the bank that you're putting down. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's generally what he's looking for that. So they can put it on checking, they can put it on savings, however they want to put it. Where it says bank, just put the bank name in the MT bank. That's it.
Okay.
And you notice nobody's asking for the account number. On the stock, they don't need to do that, except if they want to reveal that. They do not need to. Matter of fact, when you put down, if I'm buying a $300,000 home and I'm saying I already got, 30 grand, 40 grand, in my account, that suffice, because the guy could say, okay, wait a minute, they're going to buy a $300,000 home. It's going to be roughly about 3% for their closing. And then it's going to be another 3 roughly, because they're doing a 3.5% loan. That's another, so hey, they need what? 3.5 plus 3 is 6.5. They need 7%, So they already have 7% of $300,000 is what? 21 grand. They have more than 21 grand in their account. That's what he wants to see, So you can, as a hard and fast rule, you can just say to your client, you're buying a $500,000 home. Let's make sure we're showing them that you have, that we're writing down that you have, 5% of that, 10% of that. That's it. Okay. Anything they want to disclose, it says over here, present residents, are they renting? Are they buying? That's what it is. So if they're renting, they put on there, we're renting. They can just put on there present residence. If they're renting, it says if owned. If they're renting, they don't need to do anything like that, right? They don't need to put anything there. Come on, computer. Bear with me. My computer is doing a dance.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to save. Zip forms will do this over here.
Oh my gosh, the phones will do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff running in the background too, so it's causing things to be seriously slow. Now, I apologize.
No worries.
For that. But if I can just get this thing to stop dancing, then we can go. But what's going to be at the bottom is just going to be the part where it says the renting. If they're renting, you can, you put the information on how much they're paying for rent, and that's it. And then the client signs.
Okay. Okay. That's the buyer financial sheet.
Yeah, and then they'll sign. So, but in this particular instance, I recommend that you include this because he asks for it. Okay. This is all where it says, all this part that says liabilities, and they don't need to disclose none of this stuff, nothing. They don't need to write none of this stuff in there at all. All they need to do is click on there. We're renting, we're paying $2,500 a month. We already told you above that we've got 60 grand, 50 grand, or whatever. That's it. Additional information, they don't need to disclose nothing, okay? They're over here, they're going to say, are there any outstanding judgments? No, you don't need to check that. There's no judgments. Are there any factors that will of course, there's no factors. My bank is already verified that I can buy this house. So they don't need to do any of that. And that's it, they sign, done.
Okay.
Right? You just get this information to your Sky Slope. God, why did I click save? What's wrong with me? Okay, but so that's that, right? Now, you still remember how to take, well, of course you do. You know how to get your information from here and get it to your Sky Slope, right?
Honestly, no. I've not transferred any information from Zip Forms to Sky Slope at all.
No problems. Let me I'll give you a quick crash course on how to do it. So I've got this client here and I want to take their contract. I want to take the contract. I want to take addendum of clauses. I want to take property inspection addendum. I want to take their conventional financing addendum. I want to take, what else? I want to take the escrow agreement. I I want to take the buyer's financial information sheet. Those are all the documents that I want. I already take the understanding and all that. I already took, so I'm not saying. So these are the documents. I've selected all the documents that I want to take to my SkySlope. So you put your check marks on all of those, right? Then you come here where it says send. You click on send, and then you click email. It's going to come up with this. I click my name because I'm part of the party. I click on send to myself, right? And I click done. It's going to come to the screen and it's going to have my name on there. So this is what I do to get this to SkySlope. I'll go back to SkySlope. Can you see my SkySlope page?
Yeah.
Okay. So I come back to SkySlope. Then I come to the deal. I'm assuming, let's assume that this is the deal that I already created for this client. So I come into this deal, see where it says email.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put my mouse over the email, the end comes up, then I right click my mouse and it says copy email address. I click on copy email address. Then I go back into my zip forms. Okay. Once I get back into my zip forms, can you see my zip forms screen?
Yes.
Then I come here where it has my name on the email. I highlight that. I remove my name and I right click my mouse again and I paste that email address from SkySlope in there. If I want to send it to myself, if I want to CC myself in an email, whatever, you can you can CC yourself, right?
Yes.
If you don't need to, you don't have to. So once I do that, then I come on the subject line and I just put on the contract package or initial contract package, anything I want to call it. Whatever I want to call it, I just put that name on there. Then I send it. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. So once I type that information, I come right to the side where you see that green that says send.
Mm-hmm.
I click that and it's going to do a bunch of moving around, dancing and going round and round in a circle. And after a long many years, because my computer is very slow, it's going to give me this. So it's basically saying to me, send the email. So it says, you've emailed this document outside of our secure system. Yes, I have. You click OK. Done. That's how easy it is for you to transfer your document. So now let's go back into SkySlope and go find the document. So I come back into the deal, right? In SkySlope, I click on documents. It's gonna take a minute. Just click on documents. He hasn't been in there yet because I know he hasn't. Because as you can see up there, the most recent contract, you see the most recent thing up there is 114, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're still waiting for the for what we sent from SkySlope. And still waiting. He hasn't made it in yet. There you go. It's in. You see it now?
Yeah.
122. Now, because I've got so many stuff on my signature, that's what all of this junk is. All these zip forms, logo, and all that. I always remove all of this. I know that's what it is. I can show it to you. If I click on it, you're going to see what's going to come. See that? Zip forms. You see my screen now?
Yeah.
So we don't need all that. So what I do is I just go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I click all those because I know that's what I just sent in. He has an I on there, so that's what I just sent in. So I check all those. I come to where it says move, and I put all those in trash.
Got it.
You see, everything's going in trash. Every single thing that I sent is right here. So to see it, click on that. You're going to see the exact things that I checked. See, contract that I checked. that I took from zip forms. That's the contract. In the order in which I added on there is where I is going to send it in. The next thing, addendum of clauses. See that?
Yeah.
So every single thing that I checked and I brought the way it was organized, so you can reorganize it, whatever you want to go afterward, before you even send it. Got it?
I got it. Yeah.
So,
You organize it in zip forms.
yeah. So, and that's it. Every single thing comes right here. So what I do now is you want to rename it so you know what it is. So I click on rename and I just go over there and say, I call it again, initial contract package, initial contract package,
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. So you identify, you know what it is, and boom, it saves it. Now you know exactly what it is. Now, let's take this. Now, you know how to do all your signing in zip forms, right?
In zip form, yes.
Assign and how. So easy peasy. So you just click that and you do what you gotta do. So that's easy. Now, let's go back and look at, and I already prepared this CMA and I already emailed it to you. So it's in your email. So going back to the deal that you're doing, you said to me that you were offering, that you guys want to offer 240, right?
Yes.
How did you come up with that number? Can you see the screen? Can you see my RPR?
Yes.
Okay. How did you all come up with the number 240 to offer? This is not me trying to show you. Do you think that your offer will be accepted at 240, even though you're not asking for any money? Do you think you're strong enough?
I think it's strong, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
How did you determine that? How did you determine that number?
Because that's what they were asking for, and that's what they wanted to offer.
Okay. So, because that's what they want to offer, does not mean that that's the offer that is going to win.
Okay.
So, it's incumbent upon you to show them. And again, we never force our clients. All we're doing is we just say, Mr. Client. Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm the smart guy here. I'm the wise guy because you hired me to do a job for you. You don't tell them that, but that's what's going on in your mind. You're saying that, okay, Mr. Buyer, do you love this house? Do you want this house? How badly do you want this house? Do you see yourself in this house? They've got all that emotional attachment that all Google Gaga, they love it and everything. So I asked them a few questions. If we do not get this house on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, how bad are you going to feel if we lose this house? If the guy says, oh, it doesn't matter if that, okay. If they say, 4 or 5, okay. If they say, oh no, we're going to be really bad, okay. The reason why I'm asking you that question is this. We are in what is called a seller's market. There's not that many property. So the competition is very high. There's a lot of properties going right now that people are bidding 10, 20, 30, 40,000 dollars over. However, my job to represent you and represent you well is not just to say to you, oh, offer them $50,000 more so that you can win it and, all this stuff. No, because we could offer $50,000 more. You could win the offer. What if the house appraises for $50,000 more? It means you're going to be buying this house for 50 grand more. What if it doesn't? Or what if I send it in and then the agent is like, this guy doesn't even know what he's doing. He's just messing around. And they don't accept our offer. Mr. Bai, the reason why I'm saying that to you is I want to put you in a position to win. That's why I'm asking you how much you love this house. We've seen a few houses. You've settled upon this one. Obviously, you love it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love it? For example, let's say, okay, they want to sell this house for 240. Let's say you put an offer in for 250, and then you find out that you did not get that offer, and the reason you didn't was because the person that beat you, they beat you by $1,000. Would you feel bad? Would you have felt that you should have gone $1,000 more? Oh yeah, we can do that more. Then, Mr. Client, you haven't gotten to where your final point is on the price. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what you try to do is you're trying to find how much do they want it, how badly do they want that property, and how well do they understand the dynamics of what's going on in the market. So we've got to help them understand that. We've got to help them see that. Then you say to them, well, again, like I said, properties are going more higher because we're in the seller's market, because there's not that much inventory. But even though I can say to you now, let's offer them a whole lot more higher, there's going to be a method to our madness. To be able to help us make that determination, I'm going to send you a market analysis. It's kind of close, similar to what an appraiser will do, to determine if the house is worth what they're asking for it. So I'm going to prepare one for you and I'll send it to you. And that's what we're going to base our decision on what we should offer for this property on. If we're going to win the property, they put it on the market for 234. If you say this is the house that you want, let me do my due diligence. Let me see what the market analysis says. I'll send that information to you. We'll go over it. That information coupled with how much you think you want this house and what you feel comfortable with offering for this house is how we're going to write the offer. Because I don't want you to offer something that is not going to win you this offer. And I also don't want you to offer something that you're going to be in a bind if it appraises for that amount and you don't feel comfortable with what the payment's going to be. Then the other thing I said, tell them is this: even if we end up offering $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more for this house, even if this house valuation says is worth more than what it is, and we write that number, don't forget, what I'm doing is just a market analysis for us to win the offer. It's not the final say. There's still going to be an appraisal that your bank, your lender is going to, order. And that number, whatever the appraised amount is what the bank is really going to settle on. Which means, let's say we write up an offer now for $300,000 because the house we think is worth $300,000. That offer, we write it, it goes in. If we win the offer, that just allows us to win the offer. When they do the appraisal, if the appraised value is only $260,000, that's where you're going to be buying this property for. So you're not going to be buying it for $300,000 because the lender is not going to loan you more than what the house is worth. So we have a safeguard. If, on the other hand, we offer $300,000 and the appraisal comes and the house appraises for $350,000, more than what we offer for, you're still not going to be buying the house for the $350,000. You're going to be buying the house for what we offered to buy the house for, because they appraised. The good thing for you in that case just means you have some equity in the house. But the purpose of the market analysis is to help you and I to inform us on what should we be offering. What is other agents are they looking at? What are other buyers and agents looking at for them to write their offer in this situation that we know there's a lot of competition? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So once they say that, I say, okay. They may tell you that, no, I don't even care. We're only going to offer $250,000. Like, I understand what you want to offer. Not a problem. I work for you. Whatever you tell me to do is what I'm going to do. But I want you to still get all the information. So I'm still going to do the market analysis and I'll send it to you. And it doesn't take long to do one. Do you know how to do a good CMA?
No, I do not know how to do a good CMA.
No problem. We'll do one right now. I already did one for this property. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to go back and do one, you know.
I'm gonna go ahead and open up RPR, because I know that that's where the current market analysis is going to be at, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So and then you can, as I'm doing it, you can walk along. Yes.
Okay.
What's the name? What's the address again? One Apple what?
Apple Drawer.
Okay, I got Apple
Drawer. DOWRE.
Okay, good. Yeah. So have you opened your own RPR yet?
I'm on the home screen now. I'm getting ready to get the address in there.
Okay. Once you start typing the address, it should come up.
Okay. And the first one that pops up is 231.
No, just keep typing one Apple. Don't worry about the unit or anything. Just type in, make sure it's one Apple Dower Court, Germantown, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just select that and click the search button.
Okay.
Then it takes you to this screen that says create, right?
It says create comp analysis.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it.
Have the dollar. It's gonna have. Sorry.
You're doing it on your computer screen, and when I'm doing it on the phone, so the form layout is different than the one on the computer screen.
Oh yeah, because you're doing it on the phone, yeah, because you're using a mobile version, so it's definitely different.
Yeah.
Got the same numbers. You get much more. Yeah. So it's a little bit harder until you get very good and on the. I prefer you do it on the computer.
Okay.
And be very good with it before you do it on the phone, because phone is more of a shortcut. Yeah. But this is what it's going to look. So you do it on the computer, you go right here, you're going to have refine and create. Okay. So we click on the create. As soon as you do that, it's going to say, I already have it done. So, but I'm going to walk you through the process. So once you click on create, it's going to have comparative analysis or sales comparison analysis. You can look, you can click on this, what's the difference, and it tells you what the difference is. But I always use the sales comparison analysis because that's more detailed. It's a better evaluation because it gives you a much more realistic picture of what's going on. If you do the comparative analysis, it's just building you an estimate of what's going on for comps. So you want a much more detailed analysis, okay? So you select this one, right? If you select the first one, that's what happens, but we're gonna select the second one, right? Sales comparison analysis. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna click on where it says number one. You just follow the prayer, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Click on one, edit. So over here, it brings you to this screen. The most important thing you wanna do here is you wanna make sure that you have the number of bedrooms correct. So typically you might not have anything. So you go over here. How many bedrooms does he have? 3, right?
Yep.
You make sure that you have, he's got 2. Does he have 2 full baths?
It has 2 full baths and a partial bath.
And he also has, and he has a partial bath, right? So you go there, part 1. That's it. That's all you do. You don't need to do anything else. Just do those things and then go all the way to the bottom, confirm facts. Then it's going to bring you to line number 2, search for comps. So I'm going to go to search for comps. What I'm going to do, because I already did this before you, but I want us to go through it. So I'm going to remove all the comps that I already have in there. And we're going to search for comps. We're going to start all over, right?
Okay.
So over here, property type, condo and townhome is already selected. It's going to do that by itself because it identified the kind of property you're looking at. You're going to have your active for sale and pending. Make sure those two are checked. You want to check your under contract, and you want to check your sold. Then you come down 6 months. Within 6 months is what you want. You don't want anything longer. The only time you're ever going to go longer is if you don't have enough comps. So 6 months is your standard. Then right here where it says proximity, you want to drop down that and do 1 mile radius. 1 mile radius. You can do 2 if you don't have enough comps, but it's a townhome, it's a condo in that area, you're going to have plenty. So we're going to say 1 mile radius. Then you're going to come down and you're going to click search. It's going to spool through and search. And look what it came up with. Instantly, you have 51 sold properties that you can use as comps. And you have, let's see, all the way down. Then you have 20 for sale or pending that you can use for comps. Okay. So you want to pick 3 comps that is sold that is closest in identity to the property that you're trying to analyze. So the important thing to remember is, see up all the way up here, it tells you your subject property. It tells you that it's it tells you the amount that is estimating. This is just a computer generated number. It tells you it's $183 per square foot. It tells you that the property is approximately 1,300 square foot living area, right? It's 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and it was built in 1983. So we want to pick properties that are the closest to that. So let's go. So the first property that came up is about 0.02 miles away from your subject property. But this one is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's built in the same year, but it does not quite reflect your property because it's got 3 bedrooms too. Let's find things that are much closer. So we have this one built in 1983, about the same thing. Does it look similar to your property? In look,
yeah.
It looks close, you know, and it's close in the price per square foot. It's about the same in square footage of living area. Is 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and built in 1983. So we're going to pick that. That'll be the first one we select. We go down. We're going to skip this one that is 3-2. 3-2. We're going to 2-2. We're going to skip all that because they're not that close. We can pick this right here. This also looks pretty close. This one is about 1,600 square foot, so close to your property. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, built in 1983. And the system is already even using that. So yeah, you want properties that are close, you know.
So those stars, stars that are highlighted, those are recommended by the system?
Yeah, the system is just picking those because it says they're close, they're similar, you know, in different areas. But you still, because this is all computer generated, you still want to make sure that what you're picking is still reflective of the house that we're talking about.
That 2 and 2 is not the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have other things that are much more similar.
Yeah.
So, and don't forget, we only need 3. So we got 1, we got 2. Let's go find a 3rd one. We're going to skip that. We're going to skip that. Because these are all 2-2s. I don't need that. I want something that, again, is close. There we go. So the next one, again, similar to your property, 0.17 miles away. It's been on the market for 414 days, though. So that might not necessarily be a good one to pick, but you can. Maybe it's been there for that long because they did a lot of renovations. You can dig deeper. We can pick that. It doesn't matter because this is very close. It's actually a little smaller than your property. It's only 1,200 square foot. you know? So we can pick that. Or you can say, no, let's leave it. Let's see if I can find something else that is not been on the market for 414 days, you know, that is closer. So let's leave that alone. Don't let's pick it. Let's go. 1983, 2-bedroom, 3 baths. That's close, but I want 3 bedrooms. So I'll skip that. You can always adjust also for other things.
Get that 11545.
11545.
Brundage Terrace.
Here we go. 11545, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1987. Only 4 years apart. This is very similar. So boom, we can pick that. Now we've gotten our 3 sold properties. It's only been on the market. Well, it was only on the market for 46 days and it was sold. So we've gotten our 3. So now let's go get our for sale and pending properties. So we're down here now, and this is a 3-3, the very first one, very similar. And we know why it's similar, because that's your property. But
yeah,
we don't want that. This is actually your property. So yeah, because we already have it as a subject, so we're not going to pick it. So we can go to the next one right underneath it, 0.05 miles away. That one is 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, built the same year, about the same thing. So we pick it. That's our first one. Then we come down to, that's a 2-2. We don't want that. That's a 3-2. We don't want that if we can find something else that is much closer. This one's been on the market 117 days. Is under contract now, though. So we could pick that.
Okay.
Because it's under contract now. And, you know, it's 3-3. It's about the same size. So we can pick that. That's 2. We need 1 more. So here we go. Here comes another one, 0.15 miles away. It looks similar. About the same size, same number of bedrooms. Boom. Let's pick that. So now we've gotten our 3 properties. So you now scroll all the way down and you click on update value and close. When you do that, then the next thing, because you've picked the comps, the next one will be number 3 is where you make adjustments. That's what it's going to make you do. Then you click update and close. If you might be in a situation where it's not going to let you go through, but it's going to be a red highlight and it's going to tell you, you might just need to remove some letters and that's it. And you'll be able to move forward. Just to show it to you in case it ever happens. Typically, if it doesn't let you go through, it's because right in here somewhere might be too many words, too many letters that is written. So it's going to highlight red. Just remove some of those writings in there and you'll be able to move forward until it turns blue, okay? So you come over there, you edit and boom, and see he's already giving you the valuation, 250. So create your report. The one that I did and I sent to you, the valuation was 263, but it's 250 now. And why is it different? Because I use different comps. I purposely did this in front of you so I don't overcomplicate things, because I felt when I did it the last time that I did it, which I already emailed to you, the comps that I used were different from the comps that I used now. And the reason why I use those comps is because I know that that property in that neighborhood, just based on experience, is going to fetch approximately about $20,000 more.
So 255.
Yes. What do they have it listed for? 235?
234.
Okay. 234. So about 20 grand more, yeah? So whoever is going to win that contract is going to win that contract around the 250, 260 mark.
And you
so, but, okay. Sorry, go on.
Going that high, we should ask for some help.
No. We're going to get there, but no. It doesn't follow, no. But in any case, so now that you've done that, so what you now do is, hey, Mr. Client, you did this by yourself, the client doesn't know. So I'm going to act like as if you the client. So I'm going to put your name here, Mr. Buyer. All right. Then where it says message, I just say, based on the market analysis, I will recommend a sales price of $250K to $260K. Now, typically, again, because and this is just because I know, because of the market analysis that I did for you earlier on, I purposely dumbed it down in the sense of pick the lower ones, because I know because some of those properties that we picked, some of them they do not have new appliances in them. Some of them are not fully renovated and stuff. And I haven't seen your property, but you're saying to me that they did some renovation. So, and that's how, because you've been in there, so you use that as part of your guide and your job to be able to pick the right kind of comps that reflects what you've seen. So this is what, so typically market analysis comes up. When you do it, it comes up high. Then you guide your client and say, hey, based on the market and based on what I'm looking at, this is where we should be. The reason why I went higher, so, okay, when we just did this right now, right, it came up at 250, right? So what I would write, because it came up at 250, this is what I would actually write because of that. I'll be writing on there that 245 to 255K is what I recommend. Because why did I do that? Because you did a market analysis for me and you say your analysis says 250. There's no way I can convince you and say you need to pay 260 for the house. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Okay. So if whatever your market analysis says, you want to be in that range, but no more than $5,000 or $10,000 above that range. Why? The reason why you're going a little bit above that range is because you want to be credible to your client. The reason why I went a little bit higher and say be in this range and this range, I'm not telling you what to offer, but I'm saying this is the range you want to be. But the reason why that range is a little bit higher than what the analysis itself says is because, Mr. Client, you're competing against other people. That's number one. Number two, because also what you just said to me, sir, you want us to ask for closing help. So if I show you that, okay, let's go a little bit higher, then it could make sense to now ask for closing help. You see the logic now?
Yeah. But let me ask you a question now. So let's say my clients, after this current market analysis, decides to put the offer in for 255, but the bank goes in there and appraises the property at 247. We are now going to pay the difference between 245 to 247 to 255.
No, sir. So your client put an offer in for 250, the bank appraised it. Now you won the offer. You put in 250, you won the offer, you ratified. Now your client is going to be buying this house. Now, this offer that you wrote just allowed you to win that offer, allow you to go in, right? But now you ratified. The bank now goes in to do the actual appraisal, and the appraisal came in at 247. Your client will be buying the house for 247.
Got it.
You're going to take some negotiations, but it's the simplest negotiation ever. Hey, listing agent, appraisal came. The appraisal, came lower than what we put the offer in for. they will sell it for 247. They might turn around to you and say, we can't give you all the closing help or whatever. Or they might be like, you know what, if they're not being greedy, yeah, that's cool. We'll give it, we'll sell it to you for, what they appraised for, and we give you all of the closing help if they have the room. Or they can say, we can't give you all of it, we only give you this X amount. That's where you negotiate. But the reality is, if the appraised value is less than what you put on contract for, your client will be buying the house for the lesser amount. They're not going to come up with the difference. No. Except if you wrote a contract on a conventional loan and you say, or even any offer, even if it's an FHA, if you put on there and you say, we've removed the appraisal contingency, that's when you can expose your client to that. So let's say you have an addendum and say, hey, appraisal contingency removed. I don't know why anybody will do that, but if you do that, then the guy could be like, hey, this is not contingent on appraisal, so now your client has to come up with the money, because the bank is not going to give them that extra.
Yeah.
The bank is going to be like, we don't care. FHA is not going to do it. VA is not going to do it. If it doesn't appraise, your client can come up with a difference, but don't expose your client to that and say, let's remove an appraisal contingency. But answering your question directly, yes, sir. If he appraises less, your client will be buying it for less. Or the seller is just going to say, we're not going to sell it. But if it's an FHA appraisal and it's an FHA loan, that FHA appraisal stays with that property for 6 months. So it's in the best interest of the seller to want to sell that property, negotiate and say, hey, let's move it, let's go.
Got it.
So then you do that. The next thing, I put your email on there. I say run report. It's going to take about 2-3 minutes, and it's going to be in your email. So that's it, done. So now I can now say, hey, Mr. Client, based on what we see, I recommend we offer this. So based on the number that you just got now, you can now go to your client and now say to your client, we might want to readjust what we're asking to buy this property for. Another reason why, let's go back and look at the MLS. I can just show you a few other reasons why you want to go higher on your price. Look at right here at the bottom. This property has only been on the market for 2 days. You coming up on the weekend. Fortunately for you though, this guy is not doing a home, I'm sorry, he's not doing
open house.
He's not doing one, so that's a good thing, So whoever writes a contract, it might be like, you know what, let's just get this deal in and boom, let's move on, So
and I was looking at it. I was looking at it to see how many people are looking at it over the weekend. There's only 6 people.
So winning contract on this deal, winning offer on this deal, I'll say 1, go in at 250 to 255. Go anything 250 to 250. They're asking what, 234?
Yeah.
If you go anything 250, if you go in 250 with you not asking for closing help, I think you'll get it. If you need the closing help, then you just need to start doing a little bit of calculation to see what makes sense. So let's see. So right now at 250, that's 234, that's $16,000 more. Does your client need the closing help?
They'll probably need 3,000. They have 13.
Okay.
So that'd be 1%, 1.5%.
Okay, that'll bring you, if you offer 250 and take 5 away, that'll put you at 245. So you're gonna be about what? About what are they saying for again? 234. So you're about $11,000 over. That will win you the deal. You can go 250 and that's for like $3,000 to $5,000.
How much?
Use percentage. You can just go in there, go $250 and ask for $5,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about 2%. You can write the offer at $250, ask for $5,000 back. That's $245, and it's still subject to an appraisal. So guess what? You can say to your clients, listen, let's write up the offer at $250,000. Let's ask them to give us $5,000, and we put it on there. He has to appraise for $250. If the property does not appraise for $250, you get it for what it is. We're asking them for $5,000. If they come back and say, okay, we can't give you $5,000, but we'll give you $3,000 or something like that, you know, you're still close because they, in essence, they're buying the house for $245.
Damn it, Jimmy.
Or
that's what I'm talking about.
So that would be what I would do. Yeah. So, and let's say you decide that, you know what if 250 is not going to do it? Maybe we should go 260 because the house might appraise for 260. Yeah. So what do you do? These are just ways for you to win an offer, right? You can go in and say, hey, let's write the offer for 260 times 3%. Let's ask for the full 3%. That's $7,800. So, Mr. Listing agent, we want to buy your house for $260,000. We want you to give us $7,800 back. You're buying the house for $252 in essence. Because all he's doing is just calculating numbers. But what you're doing also is, okay, good. What if I say we want to buy the house for $260,000 and we want you to give us $8,000 back? Give us $8,000 in closing help. Subject to the house appraising for $260, right? If the appraisal comes back and the house does not appraise for $260 and the house only appraises for $250, your client is buying the house for the $250 they would have bought it for, even if they decide not to give them any closing help. Because your offer is only allowing you just want to win the offer. That's the first thing you want to do. But you don't want to be ridiculous in what you put in down for your purchase price, because a listing agent will see through that as they'll be like, what? This house is never going to appraise for $260. What's he talking about? Then he can call you and say, what if the house does not appraise for $260? If your client is comfortable paying $250, and you say to him that, listen, my client is prepared. If he doesn't appraise for, $260, we'll negotiate. And, at that point, we'll take care of it. Let's say he appraises for $250. Worst case scenario is, your seller, we can negotiate how much he wants to give us in closing help. Or if he doesn't want to do all of it, we can be reasonable and do it. Or if he's not willing to do anything at all. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you want the other agent to understand that the art of negotiations and the fact that if he doesn't appraise for $260 and he only appraises for $250, I'm just making sure I'm covering my client's bases.
Understood.
So if you go as high as $260, ask them for the full 3% or $8,000 in closing help. If you go $255, ask them for 2% or 2.5%, something like that is reasonable, because you've got to always remember what the other guy is looking at is bottom line. So if you offer me $255,000 and you ask him give us 3% or give us 2.5% minus 2.5%, you're looking for $6,300. It means you're going to be buying the house for $248, almost $249. They're still going to net more than what they have it listed for, and that's what you're trying to negotiate to make everybody walk away happy.
Yeah.
So you can go $250, don't ask for anything, or you can go $250 and ask for $5,000. But if you're gonna do $240, you're only giving them $6,000 more. Somebody's gonna beat you out, because yes, you going $240 and you're asking for no money. Someone else is gonna come up $245 or $250 and ask for no money. or they're gonna come 250 and ask for 3,000 or 4,000 or $5,000. You know,
but that's,
and
isn't
in
that
this,
when they come to you with a counter offer?
they may not. They may not. You know, if he has multiple offers, and you already submitted your offer, and then he now sends an email out, we have multiple offers, send your highest and best. It means now you got to go back to your client and say, do you want to go higher than that because they got multiple offers? If he says yes, then you have to pull that offer out and then rewrite and change your numbers. Or he may never even tell anybody. He might just be like, we've got multiple offers and that's it. You know, some people will use an escalation clause. A lot of other agents really don't like to do that. That's why I always preempt everything I say to my client. What is your highest and best? What do you feel comfortable with? How badly do you want this house? I'm recommending that you go 250 and ask for 5,000, or recommend go 250, don't ask for anything. You know, you tell them all this and say, however, since my recommendation is you go 250, ask them for $5,000. What if somebody else, if the person that beats us, if they offered 255 or 251 and they didn't ask for any money, or they only asked for the same amount? So make it make sense to them. If, let's say, you convince them and he says, okay, I'm okay, let's do 250 and ask for 5,000. Then your next thing is, how would you feel if someone beats us, if whoever beats us by offering 251 and asking for the same $5,000? Are you going to be upset? If they say yes, well, do you want to go more than that then? Because the idea is you want to know, what is their threshold? What is the maximum that you're willing to pay for the house that you claim that you love so much, until you're like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm not interested. If it's more than this, I'm not doing. That's what you want to find. Because you don't want a client to say, well, let's go 255, but if they want highest and best, then we can go 260. Be like, no, that opportunity might not be there. What is the maximum that you really truly comfortable with in offering? If 260 is what you can comfortably offer, let's offer 260. If you're going to be okay with the payment, if you're going to be happy, you love this house, let's offer you 260. Let's ask for $5,000. We know we're still protected when it goes to appraisal. Those would be the way I'll handle things like that. Mm-hmm. But that's how you prepare your CMA. That's how you have that conversation with them so that they feel comfortable, and then you write it on what, ultimately they're the ones that would still decide, because they're the ones that's going to be paying the bills. They're the ones that know what they're approved for, what they're comfortable with payment-wise. Our job is just to advise them and tell them, stay them one way or another. And when they say, this is what I want, if anybody comes and I want you to write for 250. If someone comes and they offer 250,050 cents and they beat me, I'm okay. I'm not mad. Well, that means that's the max. That means they cannot do that 50 cents. And that's what you do. So you can do increments of $500, $1,000, $1,500. All you're trying to do is just get a measure of, where do you, Mr. Buyer, feel comfortable? What is it that you're going to say to yourself, I wish? If you're going to say to yourself, I wish we had gotten an extra $1,000, it means you haven't gotten to your highest and best.
Yeah.
So always push it to them. What is your highest and best on this property? Are you going to be upset if someone else buys this property and they beat you by $1,000, by 1,500? That's how you want to do it. Make sense?
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Jimmy, this has been a hell of a training session, man. I got to tell you that today I felt like I learned so much more in general for the past few weeks, man. And thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time out to help me out understand these forms and teaching me a lot, man. You don't know how grateful I am. I'm very grateful.
That's what it's all about, man.
That is man. What it's all about. You put a big smile on my face. You dropped some serious knowledge, man. You dropped some serious knowledge, and I really appreciate you. Let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. I don't want to take up more of your time, man. You've been very helpful,
no worries, no worries.
Really.
So it's probably going to take like a whole day because of the amount of time we spend for you to download and decompress everything. But once it does, I'm going to send you the link. At times it's hard. It doesn't go through when I send it, to people. But whatever the case is, it's going to be on my YouTube channel. So you can always go in there and watch it as many times, skip through, fast forward, whatever, on any sections that you need. That you need some clarity. And above all, you can always call me or text me, my man.
Thank you, my man. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you. God bless.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes, sir. You take it easy.
Go get some rest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. You take it easy.
You too.
Yes, sir. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Man.